The birth, death, and resurrection of Jesus means that one day everything said will come untrue. I have the hatred of apartheid in my bones, and most of all I detest the segregation or separation of language and literature. I do not care which of them you think white. All we have to decide is what to do with the time that is given us. It simply isn't an adventure worth telling if there aren't any dragons. The greatest adventure is what lies ahead. Today and tomorrow are yet to be said. The chances, the changes are all yours to make. The mold of your life is in your hands to break. It is not the strength of the body that counts, but the strength of the spirit. How do you move on? You move on when your heart finally understands that there is no turning back. True education is a kind of never-ending story, a matter of continual beginnings, of habitual fresh starts, of persistent newness. Living by faith includes the call to something greater than cowardly self-preservation. The chief purpose of life, for any of us, is to increase according to our capacity our knowledge of God by all means we have, and to be moved by it to praise and thanks. War must be, while we defend our lives against a destroyer who would devour all, but I do not love the bright sword for its sharpness, nor the arrow for its swiftness, nor the warrior for his glory. I love only that which they defend. The main mark of modern governments is that we do not know who governs, de facto any more than de jure. We see the politician and not his backer, still less the backer of the backer, or, what is most important of all, the banker of the backer. You have been chosen, and you must therefore use such strength and heart and wits as you have. I am looking for someone to share in an adventure that I am arranging, and it's very difficult to find anyone. If you do not believe in a personal God, the question, what is the purpose of life? Is unaskable and unanswerable. Even the smallest person can change the course of the future. A single dream is more powerful than 1,000 realities. I don't know half of you half as well as I should like, and I like less than half of you half as well as you deserve. If more of us valued food and cheer and song above hoarded gold, it would be a merrier world. There is a place called heaven where the good here unfinished is completed, and where the stories unwritten, and the hopes unfulfilled, are continued. We may laugh together yet. There is nothing like looking, if you want to find something. You certainly usually find something, if you look, but it is not always quite the something you were after. Deserves it. I dare say he does. Many that live deserve death. And some that die deserve life. Can you give it to them? Then do not be too eager to deal out death in judgment. For even the very wise cannot see all ends. The world is indeed full of peril, and in it there are many dark places, but still there is much that is fair, and though in all lands love is now mingled with grief, it grows perhaps the greater. You have to understand the good in things, to detect the real evil. A man that flies from his fear may find that he has only taken a short cut to meet it. No half-heartedness and no worldly fear must turn us aside from following the light unflinchingly. Still round the corner there may wait a new road or a secret gate. May it be a light to you in dark places, when all other lights go out. Deeds will not be less valiant because they are unpraised. The wide world is all about you. You can fence yourselves in, but you cannot forever fence it out. And then her heart changed, or at least she understood it, and the winter passed, and the sun shone upon her. It is not our part to master all the tides of the world, but to do what is in us for the succor of those years wherein we are set, uprooting the evil in the fields that we know, so that those who live after may have clean earth to till. What weather they shall have is not ours to rule. The world is full enough of hurts and mischances without wars to multiply them. Pay heed to the tales of old wives. It may well be that they alone keep in memory what it was once needful for the wise to know. I have found that it is the small everyday deed of ordinary folks that keep the darkness at bay. Small acts of kindness and love. You can trust us to stick to you through thick and thin, to the bitter end. And you can trust us to keep any secret of yours, closer than you yourself keep it. But you cannot trust us to let you face trouble alone, and go off without a word. We are your friends. Oh, it's quite simple. If you are a friend, you speak the password, and the doors will open. Fairy tale does not deny the existence of sorrow and failure. The possibility of these is necessary to the joy of deliverance. It denies, in the face of much evidence, if you will, universal final defeat, giving a fleeting glimpse of joy, joy beyond the walls of the world, poignant as grief. Justice is not healing. Healing cometh only by suffering and patience, and maketh no demand, not even for justice. Nearly all marriages, even happy ones, are mistakes in the sense that almost certainly, in a more perfect world, or even with a little more care in this very imperfect one, both partners might be found more suitable mates. But the real soulmate is the one you are actually married to.